with yourself? Like, what does that even mean? I feel it has very many shifts in energy within when you notice what it even means for you. We can either be our worst enemy or we can be our best friend. And Anetta and I have really gone through it on how we can be our best friend in our minds. And when you are able to tap in to that energy, you enter into much more calm, much more stillness. And as my monthly motto this month is inner calm, definitely has a lot to do with that. Treating yourself with grace, being gentle, and is like a tool in becoming calm and finding that inner peace. So please do shout any questions if you guys have questions for us that you want us to dive into. But we're going to dive into straight away, like what it really means for us in being gentle with ourselves in the past decade, or how long it's been for both of us, what we've found out, and what is in our toolbox to share with you guys. So, Anetta, when I ask you, what does it mean to be gentle with yourself? What arises instantly?
So actually, one of the first things that came up when you said we're either worst, our worst enemy or our best friend, and that really spoke to me because last night I was actually just looking at old pictures of myself from like the last couple of years, and it really does blow my mind on how much we can change in a year, even if we wanted to. But I think being gentle with ourselves is appreciating where we are and not where we used to be. Because I think a lot of times we're so used to setting the bar higher for ourselves all the time. Like if the bar is here, we reach our goal and then set it higher. So, but we don't take that time to really process and appreciate how far we've come. And I think just like looking back at pictures of myself from a couple of years ago was like really humbling as well because we may not be exactly where we want to be, but we're not where we used to be. And I think that also comes with a lot of gentleness as well. What about you?
Totally. Oh my gosh, I really resonate with you there because I would say it's something that I struggled with when I was in my depression back then. That yearning for what used to be really takes you away from joy in the present moment. And the yearning for what is to come also, I think, can take you away from the present moment. It's about balancing the both. And yeah, I really like how you always remind me too, like you're just always growing, and it's about actually enjoying that process and not even like comparing your older self, like, oh, I'm right now going through like a hermit phase, I would say, of my life. Like since turning 30, I'm way more like in my solitude era. Solitude has always been like a big part of me, but I've also been an extrovert and like exploration modus in my 20s. But now I'm noticing like it's okay. Like right now, that's what I need. And that's what I'm leaning into. And I think that is like being gentle with myself right now, like noticing what my needs are and being true to those needs. Do you know what I mean? Like, because being gentle with myself currently in my life as it stands is actually saying no to like going out sometimes when I actually just want to be in on Substack or like writing or reading and reflecting and learning for my, last year in my degree, and always reminding myself I'll come out again. I'll be a butterfly again and spread my wings. But right now, I need to work, and that's okay, and be in the right frame of mind. So, yeah, being gentle with yourself, you're right, is definitely about approaching who you are right now and not letting yourself, like, yeah, just like diminish the joy of like what was used to be or what could be. Do you know what I mean? Shifts your energy then.
I like the example that you said of the butterfly because if you know anything about me, my favorite examples are butterflies and caterpillars. But I have something new to say about that. I saw this
Okay.
quote and it said that when it rains and raindrops fall onto a butterfly's wings, even the butterfly will take time to rest until
Yeah.
it's ready to fly again. So that also get like gives a lot of gratitude for yourself, you know. It's okay to rest when you feel tired. It's okay to not go out with your friends or it's okay to skip brunch if you with your friends that weekend if you're not feeling it. I think one of the most valuable things that I have learned is not forcing myself to do things I don't want to do. That has been
So
such
true.
a big game changer. It's like if you already have like an uneasy feeling about going somewhere or doing something or a gut feeling that maybe you shouldn't be doing this, don't force yourself to do it. Just take a step back, rest your wings, and go start the new day the next day with a fresh mindset and a recharged body, and things will flow more smoothly.
Yeah, it's so true. And from what you're like saying, I just get the feeling of respecting my flow,
Yeah.
right? Like it's respecting your energy. And the more you practice that, the easier it gets to really listen to your intuition. Like, I don't know about you, Annetta, but like being gentle with myself has made me truly listen to my body and what it needs rather than, like you said, like forcing myself to do things maybe out of people pleasing or showing up, of even family occasions and stuff like that. And I noticed actually the more I set my boundaries, the easier it gets for me to do it on a regular occurrence, if that makes sense. Because at the start, I don't know about you or anyone watching, like I had a big problem with guilt. Like I
Mm.
guilt tripped myself a lot. And my therapist even said, like, this has been nurtured your whole childhood. So it's hard for you to get out of. And now, actually, before, this is really funny. I even noticed it. Like, but you come way more aware, don't you, when you're like growing?
Hmm.
And I just got like a coffee and a banana bread before we like called. And then in my head, it was like, you don't deserve this yet. And I
Mm.
was like, I just said, like, shut up. Like, who are you?
Yeah.
Like, I've really noticed, like, separating yourself from your thoughts and your guilt tripping or shaming or whatever it may be that, like, your subconscious wants you to go back to how you used to be, you're able to shift further by just telling it, stop. That's not me. I am allowed to have a banana bread and a coffee because that's my like recharge right now to come up, show on myself online, chat with you. And I think it's because I always was like, it works for me. I don't know about you, Annetta, but like, you like treat yourself when you've done something good. Have you done that? Like, like if you're working and whatnot, and then you're like, okay, then I'll have that. And then it's like my motivator. And I guess maybe it came from that. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of like share that because it was really funny that it literally just came up before and I was able to diminish it, just like stop it. And I think so many people forget that you have way more control over your thoughts than you think. Like, don't let yourself spiral down into your old habits, but rather being gentle with yourself is noticing, becoming aware, and moving forward. Yeah.
That's so true though, because a lot of times they say like the quality of your thoughts is the quality of your life. So it's like you have
Yeah.
two choices to let positive thoughts fill your mind or let negative thoughts fill your mind. And when you were saying like feeling guilty of treating yourself to something, I was there so many times. Like
Yeah.
it
It's
was
crazy.
so crazy. I don't think I can even explain. I remember like even something simple as watching TV, I felt guilty
Okay.
for watching TV, instead of
I
like
feel you.
instead of like oh, I should be cleaning, or oh, I should be studying, or doing some more work. Maybe I just want to watch TV for 30 minutes. And I felt guilty doing that, or something as simple as taking myself to go for a walk for an hour. And that was something, some old habits that I really had to break free from. And it wasn't until like, gosh, I don't know, like 2 years ago when I really started to allow myself to do things that I actually enjoy and not feel guilty about it.
Whoa, girl, that really hits home too. Like, isn't it crazy that when you just listed all that, it's our society and culture that's conditioned us to always be productive.
Yeah.
But what does even productive mean? Productive also means allowing yourself to rest, allowing yourself to do what feels good in that moment for yourself. And to be fair, I also noticed that, Anetta, that like even just binging a series, I'd be like, oh, I should be, doing this or doing that. I could do so much more. But nowadays, I'm like, I won't let that get like trap me in that negative spiral anymore. I'm like, this is my detox. This is how I would just want to chill right now. And that's absolutely fine. It's like obviously the moment where you over binge and you're not active in the routine of maybe like being who you are in that moment, like where then you've spent 5 hours binging or whatnot and you kind of lose control. And I think that's maybe like our subconscious that it just doesn't want us to like lose control, yeah, of curating this productivity. But the more I notice, I'm like, rest is productive, rest is productive. The more I'm like, yeah, chilling, chilling, chilling.
Yeah, and that's totally valid. I think there's nothing wrong with taking time to rest or taking time to do things that you enjoy to do outside of work. But if you're gonna be resting, then I've learned to you have to like really learn to be present in that moment. If you're gonna work, then work. If you're gonna hang out with your friends, then hang out with
So
your
true.
friends. And I think a lot of times we get caught up in, oh, I'm doing this, but I should be doing this too. I'm doing this, but I should be doing this too. And something that I'm continuing to learn is focus on what you're doing and be present in that moment on what you're doing, and don't try to do other things as well. Like for example, like if I go hang out with my friends and we go to brunch or we go get coffee, I really try not to be on my phone because I know my phone's going to take me down several different paths of checking Substack, checking emails, and it's just really being present in the moment on what you're doing.
Totally with you there. I think the more you permit yourself to enjoy every moment that comes and goes, the easier it actually gets to find your flow. And by what I mean with flow and like what you just said is also a really valid point, focus.
Mhm.
So many of us don't have focus anymore because we live in an overstimulated world. So we have to practice being focused and being in the moment. If that be painting or even going for brunch with your friends or writing or whatnot, like these little attributes actually are massive impact on your brain and on your health. Because if, like you were saying, if you're on a task and you're even on a task or watching TV and your mind is somewhere else, then you can't enjoy the moment. That's anxiety ridden. And so, what I always try and do, let's say in these moments, is bring myself back to my body. So, I always like, relax my shoulders, relax my cheeks. Like a shavasana always comes into my head. It's really funny because as a yoga teacher, I love shavasana at the end. And I mean, I love teaching, but I really love that shavasana because I can just see all the students like proper chilling, and like coming down and relaxing. I mean, I notice a lot of people can't do it. So I'm always like constantly, saying relax your hands or like really like leading it through. So like when I like go through these anxiety ridden moments of like I could be or I should be or guilt or whatever, I'm like, I relax my shoulders, I am free, I am safe, my eyes are relaxed, like actually take moments to check in with yourself because being gentle with yourself is a constant lesson. It's a constant practice that isn't just in the morning routine or in an evening routine. It's a daily thing. Like you are in your head the whole time. How many thoughts do we have a day? Like thousands.
Yeah.
It's about catching those thoughts and being so aware that you take more care. Yeah.
It's definitely just like being conscious of what you let into your mind, definitely.
Yeah.
And I think that also goes with who you associate with. Because I think I've had
Totally.
the biggest problem with how I viewed myself, how I viewed situations around me because of the people that I was constantly around. And they were always like so negative or trying to put me down. And that was also affecting the quality of my thoughts. So then like if someone told me like, oh, like that outfit doesn't look good on you, I would believe them, but then not only would I believe them, I would also start to go snowball backwards and start to
Um,
like really be criticizing myself. And I think that really goes hand in hand of having a positive circle around you on being gentle with yourself, whether it's friends or family members. You know, you something that I've learned is that you don't have to completely cut people off, but sometimes if somebody is not adding the value that you would like to your life, it's okay to love them from a distance. It's okay to keep them around, but just not communicating as frequently. That has helped me and worked with me. What is your opinion on that?
oh my gosh, such a valid point. That's such a big part of the equation of being gentle with yourself is noticing who you're surrounding yourself with and if they're filling your cup or if they're emptying it. So I'm proud of you that you were able to like actually become more present in who you are and who deserves your time, right? Because at the end of the day, you only notice like how valuable your presence is when you start loving yourself and noticing like how valuable you are as a person, and those people that bring you down are the ones that feel the most worse about themselves. Like it's something that you just have to learn, that it's like you feel sorry for them in the end, right? Because it's like they feel so bad about themselves that they have to bring you down with them. And I agree. I feel like nowadays, like right now in my life, I limit, let's say, my contact with certain people because I notice that, like, you are basically an average of the 5 people that you meet the most in your life. And then I also always think, like, wow, that's insane. So it really makes me think, like, who do I want to be around? And it's really sweet. A friend told me today, she's like, you teach me presence. She's like, when I'm with you, you're like a bouquet of flowers. I was like, oh, I've never had that. She was like, because with a bouquet of flowers, you always want to make them last longer. And you always like put more water in. And she's like, when I'm with you, even just for like 2 hours, we go get a coffee. She's like, it's like this bouquet of flowers. I want it to make last longer because you bring me to the present moment and ground me. And I was like, wow, that's so beautiful that we can be that energy for people. And when you find the right energies, you can just, it's beautiful, right? Like, even finding you, like, we just, what's it called? Like we complement each other. And I think it's like seeking out those energies that complement each other rather than compare each other or contradict each other. That is what's going to also teach you to be gentle with yourself. Um, yeah. So that's a really lovely point that you raised because I also actually learned a lot through treating myself like a friend. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's like I think a lot of times, like we were just saying, like we are our own worst critics, but at the end of the day, why are we our own worst critics, but we're so quick to help the person next to us? Be the person you are when you want to help someone to yourself. And I
Yeah.
think that's so valid because it's like a lot of times, like I can speak only on my half, but I love to give. So like if somebody asks me for help, like I want to be there as much as I can and do what I can. But we need to learn how to treat ourselves like that as well. So it's like, help yourself the way that you want to help people as well.
Totally, because I've only noticed as well in the past few years, you can only be fully present for someone to help them when you're fully present with yourself. And if not, then you're just going to wear yourself out. And that's not fair on you. And it's also not fair on the person that you're trying to help. And I can totally resonate with you, Annetta, that I've always been a helper. I've always been a fixer. I've always wanted to fix and help. It's just basically who I was from my childhood, whatnot. And also with my best friend, I tried to help him so much get better. And I think him passing away was a big, like, yeah, hole in my heart because I felt like I'd failed in trying to fix him and help him. And that was also like a reason why I wrote my self-help book, because it was kind of like in honor of him, like a forgiveness of me that I didn't fail him because it isn't my fault, but that I'd also tried. And then I wrote the book trying to help others through my grief. So it was funny how these gifts can come to you through your passions and your crafts of coming towards peace with yourself, can also help others invite peace in their lives. So that's been a big topic of mine also, where just getting used to prioritizing myself, you know?
Yeah, that's so true. That's so beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. And really, it's just beautiful how like you've evolved as well. I remember when we started talking like back in like, I don't know, November, and you know, it's just so cool to like watch you bloom into the person that you are called to be. And I think we won't truly bloom until we learn to be gentle with ourselves as well.
Oh, yeah. That's such a good point. Being
Yeah.
gentle with yourself, like, includes so many levels or whatnot to discover. But I think it's a massive, like, door to self discovery and reaching your full potential. And it's something that Annetta and I are so passionate about, as you guys can tell. And we want to share way more with you. And that's why we're also going to be doing our online summit so that we can really dive deep into these topics. Because, as Annetta just said, I think if not one of the biggest ingredients in the recipe of loving yourself, is being gentle with yourself. And a lot of the time these days, we've forgotten how, because we're conditioned by our society to feel guilty if we're not productive and all the rest of it. So it's just about finding the right tools that can help you shift your energy to within and not always on the outside. Um, and together we can do it better. Like Annetta and I met online as well, and we've just been growing together. And I can only reflect back that I love seeing you grow as a podcast host and everything that you're doing too. And it just makes me notice the power of being accountable for each other, makes you just want to show up more. And it's also a big passion why I made my online community now, because I noticed that there's so much more space for growth when you're in a like-minded community of people that want to grow, want to learn, want to be motivated. And they're just such good skills that we can tap into and exponentially grow in when we're around like-minded people. And that's why surroundings is so crucial in becoming, not say your best version of yourself, but becoming better every day. It helps a ton for sure.
Absolutely. So, for anybody who is interested, Grace and I will be hosting a live summit at the end of April, April 25, 26, and 27. And we do have our wait list open for people to start purchasing tickets for it as well. So if you want more information about it, please let us know and we'll send that over. And that way we'll have the opportunity to have those 3 days to just really dive in deeper into these topics. And not only us, we have phenomenal speakers that are going to be sharing the stages with us who bring their level of expertise as well. So, like I said, if you have any questions, you can always message us here on Substack, send us an email, or Instagram as well.
Yeah, we are here. We're here to chat and to dig deep. And it's so funny, you know, like only half an hour every Monday we've been showing up, and you guys have been here and listening. And there's already so much value in only a half an hour kind of dive deep. Just imagine like how much value you can get out of 3 days with so many people. I'm so excited. And yeah, I'm happy that we could have a mindful start into our week. We are here basically every Monday since the start of the year. And if you also have any topics on your heart or even your mind that you may be struggling with, feel free to reach out to either of us, because we're always here to tackle those topics together and get through it better.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you to everyone who has joined this week today for our Mindful Monday. And we do this every Monday about 9:30 Central Standard Time and then 4:30 CET. So join us every Monday for some mindful moments, and we look forward to seeing you next week as well.
Yeah. Have a great week ahead.
Bye.
Bye.